Imagine standing in London's Wembley Arena in June 2016, surrounded by 90,000 cheering fans. The lights dim, music blares, fireballs erupt from the stage. A woman in a flowing burgundy gown steps into the spotlight as Alicia Keys' Girl on Fire thunders through the speakers. She calls herself the Cryptoqueen, and she's about to promise the crowd something extraordinary, a cryptocurrency that will make Bitcoin obsolete. Her name is Ruja Ignatova, and she's orchestrating one of the biggest financial frauds in history. The story of OneCoin begins in 2014, when Bitcoin was hovering around $500 and cryptocurrency was still a mysterious concept to most people. Ruja Ignatova saw an opportunity. She was no ordinary con artist. Born in Bulgaria and raised in Germany, she held a law degree from Oxford University and had worked at the prestigious consulting firm McKinsey. She knew how to present herself as legitimate, credible, and visionary, and she knew exactly how to exploit people's fear of missing out on the next big thing. OneCoin launched with a simple pitch. It was Bitcoin for regular people, easier to understand, more accessible, more profitable. While Bitcoin required technical knowledge and expensive mining equipment, OneCoin promised anyone could get rich simply by buying educational packages and letting the company handle everything else. It was the ultimate get-rich-quick scheme dressed up in the language of financial revolution. Here's how it worked. You couldn't just buy OneCoins directly. Instead, you purchased educational packages that supposedly taught you about cryptocurrency trading. These packages ranged from €100 to over €100,000. The more expensive the package, the more tokens you received. These tokens, Ruja explained, could be used to mine OneCoins. It all sounded legitimate. Educational materials, mining, blockchain technology, all the buzzwords were there. But it was all a lie. The educational materials were plagiarized from free sources like Wikipedia. The mining didn't exist. There were no servers processing complex mathematical problems, no blockchain securing transactions. Behind the scenes, Ruja and her co-founder Sebastian Greenwood knew exactly what they were doing. In private emails later revealed by prosecutors, Ruja wrote to Sebastian, "We are not mining actually, but telling people nonsense." Sebastian responded asking how members could find out they weren't actually investing in mining machines. These weren't misguided entrepreneurs who got in over their heads. They were deliberate fraudsters who knew from day one they were selling worthless tokens. The supposed blockchain was fake too. Real cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin use a public, transparent blockchain that anyone can verify. OneCoin claimed to have a private blockchain, but even that was fabricated. By March 2015, just months after launch, Ruja and Sebastian were allocating coins to members that didn't even exist in their own fake database. They called these fake coins in their internal communications. When they needed more coins, they simply created them using an Excel spreadsheet. They could manipulate the supply at will, and they did. In 2016, Ruja increased the total supply from 2 billion coins to 120 billion coins without changing the price. Basic economics tells you that when supply increases dramatically, price should fall. But OneCoin's price kept rising because Ruja simply set whatever price she wanted. Investors couldn't actually use their OneCoins anywhere. The only place to exchange them for real money was OneCoin's internal marketplace called XCoinX. But there were severe limits on how much you could sell based on which package you'd bought. This was by design. It kept money trapped in the system and prevented a run on the scheme. Then in March 2016, OneCoin suddenly shut down the marketplace for 2 weeks, claiming they needed to perform maintenance due to the high number of miners. When it reopened, the limits were even stricter. In January 2017, they shut it down entirely. By then, investors had no way to cash out at all. They were holding worthless tokens that existed only in OneCoin's database. But OneCoin wasn't just selling a fake cryptocurrency, it was also a pyramid scheme. Members were encouraged to recruit new investors and received commissions for everyone they brought in. The more people you recruited, the more money you made. This turned ordinary investors into aggressive recruiters. By 2017, OneCoin claimed over 3 million members in 175 countries. Between the fourth quarter of 2014 and the fourth quarter of 2016 alone, OneCoin took in over $4 billion. Some estimates suggest the total fraud reached as high as $15 billion. The victims were everywhere. In Uganda, farmers and shopkeepers pooled their life savings, believing this cryptocurrency would lift them out of poverty. Many had never invested in anything before. When the truth came out, they had nothing left. In China, a man sold his family's home to buy educational packages. In rural areas, entire communities were persuaded to invest by local promoters who genuinely believed in the scheme. One victim in Uganda named Daniel sold 3 goats and all his savings to get in. Later, he was too ashamed to face the people he'd recruited. He told reporters, "They can easily kill me. They thought I ate their money." Warnings came early. In 2015, just a year after launch, experts were already calling OneCoin a pyramid scheme. Bulgaria's Financial Supervision Commission issued a warning. So did Norway's Direct Selling Association. Central banks in Hungary, Croatia and other countries cautioned their citizens. But OneCoin fought back aggressively. When the UK's Financial Conduct Authority published a notice suggesting people be wary of OneCoin, Ruja hired lawyers who argued the FCA wasn't authorised to regulate cryptocurrencies. The FCA took down the notice. Ruja used this as proof that authorities had examined OneCoin and found nothing wrong. It was a brilliant manipulation. She also cultivated an image of legitimacy. She spoke at events organised by The Economist. In 2014, she won Businesswoman of the Year in Bulgaria. At every event, she was introduced as Dr. Ruja, emphasising her Oxford credentials. She portrayed herself as a visionary fighting against greedy banks to bring financial freedom to ordinary people. Her followers didn't just trust her, they worshipped her. OneCoin events resembled religious revivals, with thousands of believers cheering her promises of wealth and revolution. But behind the glamorous facade, authorities were closing in. In October 2017, a secret warrant was issued for Ruja's arrest in the United States. On October 25th, she was scheduled to speak at an OneCoin event in Lisbon. She never showed up. Instead, she boarded a Ryanair flight from Sofia, Bulgaria to Athens, Greece. From that moment on, Ruja Ignatova vanished. She has not been seen publicly since. Her brother Konstantin took over the company, but the scheme was already collapsing. In early 2018, Bulgarian authorities raided OneCoin's headquarters. In March 2019, Konstantin was arrested when he flew to Los Angeles. He quickly pleaded guilty to fraud and money laundering charges, facing up to 90 years in prison. He's cooperated with authorities and testified against others in the scheme. Sebastian Greenwood, the co-founder, was arrested in Thailand in 2018 and extradited to the United States. He pleaded guilty in 2022 and was sentenced to 20 years in prison in 2023. Prosecutors revealed he'd personally pocketed over $300 million from the fraud. Other key players have also been arrested or are facing charges, but Ruja remains at large. In June 2022, the FBI added her to its 10 most wanted fugitives list. She became the only woman on the list. The reward for information leading to her arrest started at $100,000 and was eventually increased to $5 million. Europol also added her to its most wanted list. Despite this, no one has been able to find her. Some believe she's living in Germany under a false identity. Others think she may have been killed. In 2024, files seized by Bulgarian police suggested she might have been murdered on a yacht in Greece, on the orders of a Bulgarian mafia boss. But this account has been questioned and remains unverified. The FBI still considers her alive until there's documented evidence otherwise. The damage OneCoin caused is incalculable. Millions of people lost their savings. Families were destroyed. The psychological toll was enormous. In 2019, victims began organising to seek justice and recover their funds. In August 2024, a UK court ordered a global asset freeze for Ruja and several OneCoin associates. But recovering the money has proven extremely difficult. The OneCoin case teaches us several crucial lessons. First, if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. OneCoin promised guaranteed returns with no risk. That's simply not how legitimate investments work. Second, do your research. A simple internet search in 2015 would have revealed warnings from multiple authorities. Third, be wary of investments that only exist within their own closed systems. OneCoin couldn't be traded on any legitimate exchange. That was a massive red flag. Fourth, watch out for cult-like behaviour. OneCoin dismissed all critics as haters and enemies. Any legitimate company welcomes scrutiny and can withstand criticism. Finally, remember that credentials and charisma don't guarantee honesty. Ruja had an Oxford degree and McKinsey experience. She was brilliant, articulate, and persuasive, but she used those qualities to deceive millions of people. She understood that in the early days of cryptocurrency, most people didn't understand the technology. She exploited that ignorance masterfully, wrapping her fraud in the language of innovation and revolution. Today, OneCoin no longer operates. Its website is down, its leaders are in prison or in hiding. But the victims are still suffering. They're still trying to recover their money. They're still dealing with the emotional trauma of being deceived. And somewhere out there, possibly enjoying a luxurious life funded by billions in stolen money, is the crypto queen herself, Ruja Ignatova. One of the most wanted criminals in the world, and the mastermind behind one of the biggest frauds in history.